Welcome to the second episode of Hope, Honoring Ourselves Purposefully Every Day. I'm your host, Deb Bartok, and I'm excited to have you join us. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing detoxification and cleanse of body, mind, and soul.
True healing comes by the nourishing of the mind, the body, and the soul.
I'm excited to welcome back to the show Chelsea Scott. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hi, thank you.
On our last episode of Hope, Honoring Ourselves Purposefully Every Day, Chelsea taught us about digestive and gut health. And while she taught us, she mentioned cleansing and detoxification of our bodies. And so she's coming back today to teach us all about this. Chelsea, what can you tell us about cleansing and detoxification? I know it's really helped you on your journey to better health and wellness.
Detoxification is really important because if your body's full of toxic things, then it has a really hard time working and functioning properly, right? So if you have a lot of toxic exposure, say it's in the air, say it's in your food, it could be in the products you're putting on your body and skin. Your body will soak it in, you'll breathe it in, and your body will just kind of take it where it can, and it will store it in those different areas of the body. And that becomes a problem because then you'll have an over access of toxins, and the toxins usually go to a genetic weakness. So you'll notice that there'll be genetic weaknesses that will be passed down through generations, and it'll trap itself in different parts of the body. So if you're not more mindful of cleaning out on a regular basis what's coming into the body, there's a lot of toxins that we're exposed to. So even just breathing them in. So what I do and what I have done, I've done some pretty intense cleanses because I was very sick and I'm a lot better. And one of them was I did a master cleanse. And it's like a lemon juice cleanse, and you're doing maple syrup and stuff. And the reason why I did that one was I just wanted to give my body a break. So if you give your body a break and not just pouring a ton of food in all the time, it's able to repair itself. It's not so focused on digestion and elimination, it's just working on repairing. So it'll just get into those organs and start flushing them and cleansing them and helping them to get better. And so I started doing that. That was really intense. I don't know if I'd recommend that one for the first timers. It's really, really intense. But the other one I did was it was like kind of like a fruit cleanse. So it was fruits, and then I did some salads at dinner. And so what it did is I used a lot of whole raw foods, so my body could use that to repair itself as well. And with the fruits, it was more gentle. And the fruits, it's kind of like the keto diet. When you're doing the keto, it will turn fats to fuel. So if you're doing the fruit, because they're simple sugars, your body does different things with simple sugars instead of complex. So they're simple, and your body can just take that in and use that sugar as fuel.
Are there certain types of fruit that are better than others, like berries or?
Definitely. So we do berries and melons mostly in this fruit cleanse, and then I would add like some bananas and different things, but it depends how quickly you want your body to detox. Like if you go to like the more astringent fruits, then your body's going to detox really quickly. And that can be a problem too, because then you'll have a detox reaction is what they call them. And you don't want to have that happen because your body will
What does that usually feel like?
Well, you feel like you have the flu sometimes. Yeah, some symptoms. Or for myself, my kidneys, it's kind of like your dump is overwhelmed. So my kidneys were very overwhelmed in my liver trying to process and eliminate so many toxins at once and get it out of the body. So it flipped it out on my skin because your skin is your third kidney. So it just threw it onto my skin. So that was a problem. So you need to be very mindful of how quickly your body will detox and help the elimination organs. So you want to help all the elimination organs and support them throughout the detoxification process, because you don't want to back up the dump because it gets really yucky and you don't feel very good. Because some of those toxins have been in your body for a really long time, and they'll crack open and submit like this gas, like it's in the body. It's a really toxic environment. You want to like get it out as quickly as possible. So don't do a cleanse and not have your elimination organs working very well. Support them throughout that.
Good. Valuable. All right, and you have a drink here that you
Yes.
take every morning at
I do.
mid-morning?
Yep, well, it rotates, but this is one of them that I do. So first of all, I'll talk about lemon. So I use a lot of essential oils in my health practice and just my wellness routine every day. So I will, every morning when I wake up, I will put 2 drops of lemon essential oil in a big quart glass of water, and I'll drink this entire
I
glass.
had my lemon water this morning.
You did?
I
Good
did.
job. I just want to point out that not all essential oils are created equal, and they have to go through the right testing and quality control to know that what's really in this bottle. So there's a lot of essential oil companies out there, so just know that you need a certified pure therapeutic grade, so they know. And then on the bottle, so you know they're pure, and then on the bottle it will say you can take them internally. Okay, so if it doesn't say that, don't take it internally. So I'll put 2 drops in here and I'll drink this entire glass. So what this will do is it'll start getting into the liver, the kidneys. It'll neutralize acidity, so you'll drink this whole quart and it'll just flush the body too. So it's just a great way to gently get rid of toxins out of your body and support your elimination organs. And if you do this every day, you won't be backed up and have a big problem eventually. Right? So just being proactive. So this is the drink. This is just a smoothie that I make. And I make this for my kids. I've got it down to a science, so the kids will drink it too.
Oh, good.
So this is going to be loud.
It's kid-friendly.
It's kid-friendly. So I'll just put
that's good.
probably about a tablespoon. So there's about 3 cups of water in here because I have 7 children. So I make a big thing of this. So you could just reduce it, all right, to match how much you need. And then I'll add some chia seeds and about a tablespoon or 2 of chia seeds. But I'm not going to put that in there right this second because it's going to take a lot of loud time. But this is these are just greens. Okay, so I'll add some extra greens. These are dehydrated greens.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, so like kale and swiss chard and all those different greens that have different nutrients for your body. So I'll add that. And then I have cacao nibs. Cacao are really great for just giving you an energy boost, and also they help get
Flavor?
Yeah,
Flavor for
good. They get stuff out of the body that you don't want in there too. The chia seeds are really great for energy. So they say back in the day that Native Americans would take the chia seed and they would like soak it and use it when the men went on their quests and stuff, and they would sustain them while they were between hunting and stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is.
So there's tons of nutrients in chia. And then I'll just put some fresh spinach. Just can get this anywhere. Like this is at Costco. So I know it's $4. So that lasts a while. And then between that and the greens, and then I'll just add some stevia or stevia, however you call it, just a squirt in there.
Sweetener.
This is a sweetener and it's just made from plants, right? And then I'll use wild orange essential oil. Make sure it's certified pure, and then...
What's wild orange good for?
Wild orange
Wake
is...
up?
Yes.
Per cup?
Oh, well, here's, put a drop in your hands. Well, wild orange is very uplifting, okay? So all citruses are high on the tree and they'll make you just feel happy. So I'll put it in my diffusers and just uplift the mood, especially in the winter and we live in cold climates, right?
Nice.
So this one also is a mild cleanser too. Like lemon is the most astringent, and that's why I do that one in the morning. And it's the rind of the fruit, so just pull out the toxins out of the body. But wild orange is a lot more gentle. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for a second. Let me turn this on. And the cool thing about this is if you have children, or even yourself, if you're thinking about it, we're supposed to get 6 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, they say. And I think it's even more now. So I'm gonna put in about 2 bananas. You can get about 10 to 15 servings of fruits and vegetables if you do a green smoothie in the morning. So even with kids, the kids don't get a ton of vegetables and fruit, and my kids will drink this. So it's a great way to just get the healthier stuff into everybody. And these are all fruit, these are all berries. So these are very low in sugar, and they're very detoxifying and pull out stuff out of the body you don't want in your body, so. I probably could do it a little longer because if you want the seeds to blend really well. But this is a really great way to just incorporate way more nutrients into your diet.
Right.
Just really simple, and this will be my breakfast. And sometimes I'll actually add some coconut milk to this as well, just to make it more
Right.
creamy. It makes it really delicious and creamy. And that's just pretty much basics for just putting more good stuff to get the bad stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And it's purple, your favorite color?
And it's purple. You could make it different colors. And this is also another tip too. If you have a problem with green, some people like green grosses them out. So if they see a green drink, they don't want to drink
Right.
it. So if you add the darker berries, then they're more apt to drink it.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chelsea. So this is what you do in the morning, and throughout the day, you try to eat clean, and
Yeah.
that continues the detoxification process.
Yeah, and just be really mindful what you're putting on your skin, what you're putting inside your body, what you're breathing in the air.
What you're cleaning your house with.
And just eliminating more toxins is going to help your body just work better.
Right. Great. Well, thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
Thanks for
you.
having me.
After doing a cleanse, I'm motivated to eat healthier and not emotionally. Cleansing is like my meditation. It makes me stop, focus, and think about what I'm putting into my body. I'm making a commitment to my health and hitting the reset button.
I'm really excited about this segment today. I have Lauren Bascom here. He's a health medical consultant, and he is going to show us how to remove toxins from our body through our feet, through a foot bath. This is called an Ionic detoxification process.
Correct, yes.
And I heard about this years ago when I was living up north, and I really wanted to try it, but I didn't get around to it, so I'm so excited to have you here today to show us and tell us about this. So what is it exactly?
It is a system that's used to pull the toxins out through our feet, through our eccrine glands, and those glands are attached to every organ and system throughout our body. So they give the ability, like when we example our sweating, we sweat through our feet, it's through those eccrine glands. So those glands are also used more effectively in helping to pull those toxins out of us.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes maybe hockey players or other athletes might have, I guess, very sweaty feet. This is a unit that through an electrical process, throwing an electric ion into us, because we become too overly charged, positively charged. So it's a pH balance. So with that balance, by throwing that negative charge into us, it starts moving those toxins, those burdens that are on our cells, and starts eliminating it through our feet.
So is this a similar process to this wearing an onion in your sock through the bottom of your feet? It pulls
Some people have done
through
that, yes.
those glands?
And there's also other things that can be used, other products like that to help draw stuff out of them. It works very, very effectively, yes.
Good. Well, I'm excited, and you're going to explain it at the end of the show, but there's some kind of color change that happens with the water.
Yes, there is. And it's not so much how the colors look. They are important because it tells you to a certain degree what body system is starting to eliminate certain toxins from that area. But the biggest thing is the sediment that you see at the bottom of the foot bath. There is going to be that top layer, but you're going to see a lot of stuff on the bottom. And your feet feel, well, people have described it as tingly, or they've described it as a sensation where they have felt something just being pulled out of them. It's really a neat experience.
Oh, cool. It's exciting. Now, do I lose important vitamins in that process at all?
Well, they do say that you are detoxing for the next 48 hours. And a lot of times when we do detox, there is more coming out of us than we can put back right away. So yes, in that 48 hours, if you have a good supplement, it will then recharge or bring back to where your cells are able to function.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yes.
Great. Well, let's do this.
Give it a try, okay.
Let's do this.
So here we are. We'll put your foot in
Nice
there.
warm water.
There's nice warm water. And then we'll turn the unit on. And you have also an infrared belt that you can have around you, which then is able to give greater heat to an area, and that heat helps supplement more blood flow, and that blood flow helps
Okay.
eliminate more of those toxins in that area, whether it's an organ or a joint.
All right, so it's around kind of my
Kidney area.
kidney area.
So all we're doing is using a mineralized salt, because
Okay.
you need a certain consistency to create that electrical charge starting to flow through you. So I'm just going to put a couple.
That looks
little
like about a
scoops in.
half a teaspoon.
Yeah, and then whoosh it back and forth. We have to get up to, the machine says that you can, it's around 20 and it might drop down to 18 or 19 in voltage, but what we want is an amperage that's somewhere between 1.4 and 1.8.
Oh,
And now that we have right around just over 1.8, this is where we'll start finally seeing things starting to move.
okay.
And you'll see different things. The thing to remember is we're working with water, we're working with a metal. There's going to be a little bit of corrosion that's coming from that, but it's what we see coming out of our
Okay.
feet. The smell, well, that's a different story. We won't go there.
Oh dear, where are
And
those
that's-
oils?
And that's the difference.
You use oils in this process, don't you,
We
sometimes?
do, yes. We can put oils on after.
Okay.
Some enjoy putting the oils on before. And that can be done if the person likes, or we can have the oils on after everything's been stimulated. Because you have over 7,000 electrical points or nerve endings in your feet that attach to every part of your body.
Right.
It also helps them to be
So
invigorated.
the water is changing color to kind of a rusty color now. Is that from me or is that the salt?
That is how the reaction takes place within the water, usually in the first 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to have a little bit of a rusty. Now, the system and those who have made the system talk about it being can be coming from the arthritic area, rheumatism and things like that. Some people have felt their joints feel a little bit more easier, flexible after this use.
Okay.
Especially those who've had operations on their feet, they have felt the movability in their joints is a whole lot easier after being
Right.
done. It helps considerably. So yes, you'll have that, and you have the bubbles that are starting to react, which is your lymph nodes.
Really?
Your lymph nodes are very important. They pull a lot and move a lot of toxins through your system and hopefully eliminating it through the liver. So we'll see different colors throughout this process. Orange or yellow is usually the first.
Okay.
Yep.
And so bubbles means there's issue with?
That
Lymph
just
nodes?
means that the reaction with your lymph nodes, it shows that there's a healthy lymph node there
Oh,
when they're popping
oh,
and they're starting to build.
I've got bubbles.
You have bubbles. So you also see some other cloudiness, which usually has been known to have candida. It draws the candida out of our stomach as well.
Oh, okay.
Now, through the studies, they have learned that our body cannot break down or metabolize over 20,000 chemicals. So our body just stores it in a fat cell and puts it off to the side. This helps pull those chemicals that are inside the fat cells out. So you'll have a little bit of fat content throughout that water, and you'll see it at the end more.
So this process is about 30 to 40 minutes?
It is.
40 minutes?
The system will work for 30. I like doing a little bit more than that because if the person is healthy enough, strong enough, is able to not feel dizzy or lightheaded, we go a little bit longer because that's in the last 10 minutes is where usually you have the liver being able to finally let go of what's going
Oh,
on because it
wow.
has up to 300 to 500 functions,
Okay.
and it's best to try and clean that up. about 15 to 20 minutes in there, and we're seeing a lot more bubble action. There isn't
Wow.
as much happening. Maybe the lymph nodes are kind of bogged down a little. They need a little bit more help, and this is starting to
Okay.
work. I mean, there's lots of bubbles there, and that will come with time. As you do consecutive baths, it'll start becoming more bubbles as time goes on. But what we see in the colors is that we're seeing,
So that's not enough
greenish.
bubbles? There should be more?
some people have it covering half of it.
Really?
Yes,
By this time, by 15 minutes.
when they've done it more than once.
Oh.
Every body is different. I'm not going to say that
So you're just kind of waking it up to
you're waking it up to
detoxification?
the idea
and
that this is how it can be flushed
okay.
out of you.
Okay.
So we have a tinge of green that's starting to happen, which is your kidneys. A lot of people have kidney issues because our kidneys
We'll
are
tighten
flushing
this up.
anywhere close to 45-gallon drum of water a day. Filtration, constantly filtration. We're not drinking that much. We're drinking 8 to 10 cups, but that
Right.
8 to 10 cups is being filtered, which equals 45-gallon drum. So hence the kidneys always need a little bit more cleaning out.
Oh.
So in the next 20 minutes, we're going to see the water getting darker,
Hopefully more bubbles.
and hopefully a little bit more bubbles, and maybe we'll see, and whoever's had operations before, this array has a very good effect in pulling things out of you, but its main force is helping get things out of you. So when I had an operation on my foot, I realized there was something floating in my water, and I went, what is that? And the person had stated it was a gob of blood. That sometimes
Oh no.
nothing is perfect in our world, and so sometimes the doctor didn't get all the blood off, so it
Wow.
now then eliminated it at that time.
That's amazing.
So for the next 20 minutes, we'll see where our colors go from there.
Okay. Thank
Feeling
you.
fine?
I'm feeling fine.
Okay, good.
Well, it's kind of gross, but
Yes,
otherwise I'm feeling fine.
good. Okay, so we have, after 30 minutes, this much happening right now, Deb. Alarm has gone off, so I'm going to just do
Okay,
another
that's an
10
alarm.
minutes.
And what is this?
This is a detoxification system, an ionized mini max, where it has a certain amount of voltage, which then creates that amperage for this array to work effectively in bringing out those toxins through our body. I mean, bringing it out, I mean that it's throwing a charge into our system because we're so positively charged, and that's how we get sick. We become overly charged.
Okay.
That this throws that negative charge in and helps eliminate these toxins that are coming through.
Okay.
So we'll do it for another 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
That's how.
And I'm feeling okay. Sometimes by this time we can feel a little bit dizzy or
Well, it all depends where you are in health-wise. You might have issues to do with your heart or lungs, and so I'm always watching for that to make sure that if it's affecting you that way, that I pull you out right away. I
Okay.
don't want any of those issues happening.
so what are some of the symptoms that
Well, you have lightheadedness. Maybe you might start feeling dizzy, maybe blurry vision or
Okay.
something like that, or you have shortness of breath. Those are the kind of things that I want to know right away.
okay.
Here we are at about 40 minutes, 45,
Okay.
all depends. We have more of a soupy look.
Mm,
Those bubbles are mainly,
French onion.
could be. We'll have to see what's at the bottom. We have those bubbles that are our lymph nodes. The brown and the black is finally the liver has kicked in and has started to get rid of those toxins that are in us. And the things that I've learned in the past is that we take in about a tablespoon a day of different toxins in our environment. This
Right.
is pulling out about a cup a day. A cup of
Okay.
time, I should say.
So this isn't just a one-time process, it's pulling
No,
them out
you
over
have-
time.
Yeah, how old are you? And each day is a tablespoon. And
Oh,
this is
wow.
only 1 cup.
Oh boy.
So it takes a while for things to.
Yeah.
Help.
Hopefully I'll live long enough to clean it all out.
You will. You will. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you,
good.
Lauren. This is great.
Most people have no idea how good their body is designed to feel.
I'm really excited for this segment today. It's something that is very near and dear to me, something I believe in. I have with me relationship specialist Tyree Asimwe, who I knew as a little girl as Tyree Shaw. And we are going to talk about toxicity in relationships and how we don't have to cut toxic people out of our lives. Tyree, what does a toxic person, what are the behaviors and characteristics of a toxic person?
Thank you for asking, Deb. So, a toxic person is somebody who makes you feel belittled or makes you feel like you're not enough. When you talk about a toxic relationship, you're looking at somebody who takes a lot from you and who doesn't give enough back. A relationship is give and receive, not just take, right? And so they take a lot from you, but also too, somebody who sucks that energy out of you, makes you feel drained after talking to them. That's what toxic people are in our relationships.
Right, and so that could mean a parent, it could mean a coworker, a boss, a spouse, a partner. It could mean any relationship,
right.
a child.
Mm-hmm.
Could mean it, and you're not going to want to cut your child out of your life.
No.
You don't want to cut any of those people really out of your life.
That's right. Because when you start cutting people out of your life, then you're not able to put forth that resiliency within yourself to welcome more people into your life.
Right.
Dealing with that is kind of building that resiliency up in yourself and helping you to be more patient with others around you. But when you start cutting ties, you're losing your patience with others.
And I believe you're losing your opportunity to learn more about yourself and about how to deal with difficult personalities.
That's right.
I believe people are our teachers.
I agree with that 100%. And you know, when people are around you, they help bring awareness. So if you're being triggered by somebody, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't like this person for whatever reason, something they said triggered you, that's personal awareness.
It's about
and we
you,
need to be grateful for
them.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's about us and not them necessarily. And so what I would like to do is help people to understand, okay, what is it that I'm being triggered from? You know, like, why did something that my mother say trigger me and make me feel like I'm not enough? Where
What
is
is
that
the
coming from inside
deep-seated
me?
belief, right? What is the
Exactly.
deep-seated belief beneath?
And sometimes, you know, like with a mother, they have raised you, right? And so they're somebody that you look up to. And so
Right.
when they say something that makes you feel like you're not enough or something like that, that questions your whole identity.
Right. It
And
does.
so when that comes up, as an adult, you're then able to say, wait a second, why am I questioning my identity? What is this bringing to me that I need to deal with personally? And so that's when you're able to go and maybe talk to somebody about it, or,
Right.
you know, being able to journal about the issue. Just being able to find some answers. Journaling really helps
It does.
in finding what the actual root of the problem is.
When I did a lot of my self-work, I journaled. And what I would do is when somebody triggered me, I would go right away to that belief, try to dig for that belief. Say, now, when is the first time in my life and in my memory that I felt that?
That's very good.
Right? And then when you go back there, you realize, hey, this has nothing to do with this person or this relationship. This is to do with the belief that I picked up way back then.
That's right. So yes, there's many different steps in taking care of a toxic relationship. First of all, it's awareness. Second of all, it's accountability. To be accountable for what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way.
Right.
Third is to forgive yourself for feeling triggered, and also to forgive the person that is triggering you.
And that's so important.
It really
Forgiveness
is.
is so important. We hear so much about forgiveness, but I don't think people realize how important that step is in our life, to let go of our own toxicity
That's right.
by forgiving.
It really is. Like you said, forgiveness is so important, and to be able to forgive yourself and to be able to forgive the other person, and knowing that what they did wasn't necessarily pointed at you directly.
Intentional, right.
Intentional, But to be able to forgive is so powerful. That's empowerment in yourself. So yes, forgiveness is key. And then next is setting up clear boundaries. You know, a lot of times we don't set up those boundaries that we need set up. Those boundaries can look like time,
Right.
how much effort you're putting into the relationship, and if you're not receiving the same effort back, then, you know, rail that in a little bit, right? Don't put forth so much effort in a toxic relationship if you're
Right.
not receiving something back. And then also too, being able to do the self-work is really important as well,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
when you're able to do the self-work, that's when your life changes.
Yes. That's when you begin healing. That's when you begin to see things in a whole different perspective. The control that you actually have over your happiness.
Over your own happiness.
Yeah.
That's right. Not allowing somebody else to rule it, but taking accountability and ownership for your own happiness.
Yes.
So important. And then after that's done, you can invite them to do the work with you.
Right.
Right? So say, hey, you know, I noticed that our relationship is not where I want it to be. You know, this is what I foresee our relationship being like. And how can we take steps that we both can feel valued and appreciated in our relationship so that we want to continue that relationship?
Right. And in the beginning, they may not go for that. They might not accept your invitation.
That's right. But
Right.
that's when you become an example to them.
But you
And
continue.
you show them, hey, I've taken ownership and accountability.
Right.
I'm going to let you take ownership and accountability too. That way that our
Right.
relationship can be clear and of any toxicity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's perfect. I know that one really important one for me is setting clear boundaries. Besides forgiveness and besides accountability, now they're all important. But setting clear boundaries, I've watched that actually work really well because there's no question, right? You've set that boundary, and if somebody crosses it, that's on them. You don't have to accept it,
That's right.
right? And so,
I just want to add one thing there. So when you're set your boundary, you also have to hold yourself accountable to that boundary,
True.
right? And
Exactly.
if somebody's overstepping, you have to be accountable and you have to say, I'm sorry, you're overstepping my boundary.
right,
And, you know, make sure that they know, because if you allow it, that's you allowing them to bring toxicity into your life.
right. And that's often when you end up in a codependent relationship,
That's right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading somewhere about toxicity in a relationship and in a person. And often they're very self-centered usually because they're trying to figure themselves out and why they're feeling so much pain. And so they give off the aura that they need to be saved. And so they draw people into them who are also struggling with those beliefs that we're talking about, that they're not quite good enough and that they need to be saving. And so then you end up with this codependent and this toxic relationship.
That's
And
right.
so it's really important that we're always looking at ourselves
Mm-hmm.
to figure out what we can be accountable for and what we can change in that relationship.
That's right. And also, too, accountability brings freedom in
Right.
any relationship.
Yes.
That really is what sets you free, is being accountable.
And I think that's maybe what I was trying to say about the boundaries. You know, when you set them, I think you feel this freedom, like, okay, I can breathe because that's been set.
That's right. Yes. It's so freeing and so liberating to be able to say, I'm in control. You know, I'm in control of this relationship. I'm in control of
Right.
myself. And this is what I want for this relationship, or this is what I want for myself.
Right.
And that's where the power comes into play.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. It's been so exciting. Like I said, I love this. I think that just cutting people out is it's upsetting the whole flow of growth in relationships that we can experience. So, Tyree, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, actually, when you're just cutting off those relationships, you have to remember why am I cutting that relationship out?
Right.
What is it that's in me that I feel I need to do that? Because like you said, if we're always just cutting relationships like the media's portraying us to do so, we're not going to have those close friendships or those close family relationships.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have that self-resiliency to push forward in difficult times with difficult people. And
Right.
that's going to hinder us in all of our relationships, because there's
Right.
going to be so many things that you're not going to want to tolerate because you lose the patience.
And we really want love. Right?
Yes.
Love is all we need.
That's right. Love is all we need.
And so love is patient, love is kind, love is forgiving, love is all those things. Love doesn't cut people out. And I think if we cut somebody out of our lives, we don't really. We walk away with that little bit of darkness in us, in our heart. And we
Yeah.
carry that with us.
Yes. So true.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Where
Deb.
can we find you, Tyree?
You can find me at Facebook, Beyond Curves, as well as beyondcurves.ca.
Wonderful. And we, you might have noticed, are back in the Cobblestone, the beautiful Cobblestone Manor in Cardston. If you'd like to know more about how you can own this wonderful facility, go to cobblestonemanor.com and find out more. Thank you.
I cleanse myself of all selfishness, resentment, critical feelings for my fellow beings, self-condemnation, and misinterpretation of my life experiences. I bathe myself in generosity, appreciation, praise, and gratitude for my fellow beings, self-acceptance, and enlightened understanding of my life experiences.
All right, Deb, what we're doing today, we're doing ear candling. This is so much fun and it's so relaxing to have done. I'm going to show you the ear candles first. This is what an ear candle looks like. It's about 1 foot long and it's hollow inside and it has a tapered end. I apply this end to the ear and then I put the fire on this end. I start this on fire.
Oh, wow.
Which creates a vacuum. So I make sure that there's no breakage in the seal when I put this in the ear, and I can tell if there's a seal broken or not by smoke coming up out of the ear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this into the ear first of all, and then I'm going to come up and just make sure that there's the ear is around there. Okay, now just open and close your jaw. Very good, very good. So there we go. We have now lit the candle.
So the reason for the towels around me is that to keep wax from dripping on me, hot wax?
No, it's for protection, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that's for. So now I'm just checking. See, there's a little smoke coming out, so I know that I have, the seal is not there yet. Okay, so just checking to see if the seal is still broken. It looks like it's okay now. So now we just allow this to come down. The heat comes down into the ear canal and warms up the wax. That's all it does. And then the wax,
Feel the heat to bed.
yeah, the wax will soften and come up into the candle, or, well, you'll see. There's powder this creates a powder as well. So the powder will fall down into the candle, and if there's wax, the wax will absorb the powder.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
Drawing it out.
Yep. So this takes approximately 20 minutes per candle, and you burn it down to approximately 4 inches from the ear. So it does not get really hot for you at all. And then I have another towel that I use to wrap around, the head so that I don't get anything on you when I cut the product off of the top. So it's really very relaxing to have done. You can also do some massage and use the lymphatic drainage just by massaging gently towards the ear. So this helps for any lymphatic drainage that gets plugged in the forehead and across, and there's another area of collection here as well.
Now, I've never had this happen, so do you expect to get quite a bit of wax out, or is that depending on the person? What causes the buildup of earwax?
Well, a lot of times dust and dirt that just comes into the ear. For example, farmers. I do a lot of farmers that come in after they've put in their crops, and I've actually had winged animals, winged insects coming out, and non-winged insects that the wind has blown into their ears, the dust as well. And also too, after they have done harvest, they usually come in and have this done to clean out their ears. Flying. People that do a lot of flying come in before they fly, and after they come home from their holidays, they will come in and have the ear candling done. People with allergies, they come in usually every month, or during the seasons that their allergies are really bad, they come in usually once a month for that. Some every season change. Everyone is different and for different purposes. So. Yes, I had, the most I've ever done in one person is 10 candles in each ear. It took me approximately 2 days to do that. But
so one candle doesn't necessarily remove all of the wax?
No.
And how can you tell if there's more?
Usually if I don't get anything from the candle, I will try usually again to make sure that it is clear. And if there is something, then I usually try to do as many candles until it does come clear. And by coming clear means when the powder has no wax in it whatsoever.
I
so
see.
yeah.
So there is something that shows you when you're actually done.
Yes. I need to cover your face, honey. Thank you. Just because. There. I don't want anything to happen. Don't want to burn your eyelashes or anything like that. Now I can.
Do that.
Yeah. Now I can uncover again.
Okay, about 20 minutes has passed. Are we at the 4-inch mark?
We are, so we're just there now. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this off of you, this part, and then I'll take the towel off of you, and then I'll have you sit up, and as you're doing that, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut off the burning part and put it into water, and then we will see what comes out of the candle.
All right.
All right.
I'm excited.
Okay, so I'm just going to take this off for now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take this off.
Take my pretty hat off.
Yep, take your pretty hat off. And I'm just going to take this out of the ear now. I'm going to just pinch that ear a little bit. And there we go. And I'm just going to cut this off.
That was smooth.
Yeah. And so now you can see magic. Have a Kleenex there. So
It was burning in my ear, was it?
So this is what comes out of the candle.
That's the powder?
The powder is from the candle itself.
Right.
So anything that is not powder, if you just want to have a look there, see that's the wax there.
Okay.
And you can see how it is adhered to the candle.
Right.
So actually, there you go. There's a chunk there. So, yeah, and the candle is empty. So that's what came out of your ear. So the powder is from the candle, don't forget. The powder is from the candle, and whatever is attached to the powder is wax from the ear.
You can feel, I'll feel it. It's my own wax, so
Yes.
I can feel it. But yeah, so this gross little bit of wax there and here. And so what does that mean? Does that mean
So
there's
that-
more? Or how do I tell if there's more in there, if that took care of it?
I would suggest, because it wasn't all powder, I would suggest that you could use another candle.
Is this quite a bit, or do you normally get
It's
more in
not-
one sitting, or?
It's not a lot. Usually I get, depending on what the person is doing and what they're not doing, usually I get a lot more, or sometimes I just get
Okay.
powder. So,
Because I am in allergy season right now, where I have some hay fever.
yeah. And also too, what I look for is in any discoloration. If I pick up a green or more yellow, that will tell me if you have infection in the ear
Okay.
also.
So I
or
don't
if
have
you
infection?
No,
Yay!
no, you do not. So
Okay.
that's what that tells me.
Well, thank you
So-
so much, Deidre.
You're so welcome.
For your wisdom and
You're
knowledge.
welcome.
And we'll.
Yeah, it's been great. And thanks, Debbie. I so appreciate you allowing me to do this with you. We've had a great time.
We have
Yeah.
over and out.
Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. We are back at Studio 8 in Raymond with yoga instructor Stephanie. Welcome, Stephanie. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Nice to work with you again.
So, as a singing instructor and a singer, I've always known that deep belly diaphragmatic breathing is important for my instrument. Lately, I've been hearing a lot about how it's also important for ultimate health and for cleansing, and that is what our show is about this month. And so can you tell me why it is so good for cleansing the body?
I think that the biggest thing with breathing is just that we as people have, it sounds kind of silly, but we've forgotten how to breathe. There's so much that people go through in life, tension, ups and downs, and stress, that we tend to hold our breath through all these cases where we have tension or stress, any type of anxiety. We hold our breath.
Oh, on that note, I have to tell you a story. Okay. I remember when my daughter was first jumping horses, and she was quite young, and she was on a really lively Arab mare, and people would literally put their hand on my arm and say, "Breathe, Mom, breathe," as she came up to a jump. I would hold my
I
breath.
think all moms can say that we hold our breath watching our children many times a day. I can say that myself. But with that being said, and I tell people when they kind of laugh and giggle and say, well, you know, I breathe, that's how I live. And oh, of course, but do you notice those moments where we are under a great amount of stress or a great amount of tension, and that develops toxins in the body? Sometimes people get the shakes. It affects the nervous system. It affects so much in our body. And then when we take that moment and just how calming and soothing that breath is. And that's what takes us back from that state where our nervous system is all riled up and there's toxins going through the body. And that strong exhale is what softens and relieves our body of those toxins and brings us back to a calm homeostasis state. So it's really, really important to learn to breathe and remember to take those moments in our day, even if it's just once or twice a day, because we're focusing not only on calming the body, calming the nerves, but the nervous system controls everything, every movement, every blink of an eye that we have. So with our breathing, we're not only focusing on the calming aspects of the body, but we're allowing ourselves to increase our cardiorespiratory system. We're focusing on increasing our energy levels, because the better oxygen intake you can receive, the more energy output you have.
And we all want more energy.
Well, it's just you can tell if somebody were to go for a run and they're gasping for air, they can only go so far. But someone that can focus on their breathing and tune into their breathing can go much longer within that run because of those reasons. So it's very important to just take those even once a day. Just taking once a day, even before you go to bed, and just sitting on your bed where you do have a quiet space, which is extremely important for this, to be able to have that space that you can have it calm, quiet, oxygen in the room, and a safe place where you can feel that you can take those few moments for yourself.
Right. Thank you so much for that wisdom and that information. It's so valuable. I agree. Now, how would you teach somebody, how would you teach our audience to deep breathe? I remember I used to teach a balloon, imagining a balloon. So teach us.
There are so many ways to focus on deep breathing, which is beautiful because there's not any right or wrong, right? And as long as someone is even taking a moment and just focusing on their breath, then that's beneficial. But what I do like to teach people, and I find just to work on lung capacity itself, as well as what it should feel like to have an increase in oxygen in the body. I can explain to you and walk you through the steps. But if anybody were to follow this, you can have moments where you may feel dizzy, you might feel lightheaded, because we're not used to breathing and taking in all that oxygen. So it's kind of funny that we would feel that way from doing absolutely nothing but breathing, and we do that all day long. But what I tell my clients to do, whether in a seated position or just laying on their back, is I tell them, first of all, close your eyes, and you just want to take that moment and just concentrate. So I tell them to inhale through the nose, but when you inhale through the nose, you're compressing, so there's a little bit of pressure through the sinus area, and you're flaring the nostrils, so you're allowing that breath to come in. So it might look a little silly, but I'll show you. So if I was just calmly sitting through the nostrils, so there's that compression, and now I'm going to guide that breath down to the deepest center of your chest. And you want to feel the lungs expand. You actually want to feel the space between the ribs start to expand. And then you challenge yourself and see if you can hold that breath for a moment, right at the top where you can't take in any more. Hold it for, I'd say even 16, 15 seconds. And then it's a slow, steady, controlled exhale. So if you were to rest your tongue at the roof of your mouth, and you're taking that breath from the base of your throat. So it should sound like the waves of the ocean when you inhale and when you exhale. So I'll show you. Okay. So if you were to take a moment and through the nose, just and even with just 2 breaths, I can feel that extra oxygen to my mind. Yeah. And it does.
I can feel it.
Be a little lightheaded. You're like, whew. And I always tell people, start with maybe trying to do 5 of those type of big breaths in the system, because it can cause you to get lightheaded. And allow yourself to gradually work into a prolonged period of time where you could spend 5 to 10 minutes alone, quiet by yourself, and just taking those moments for those nice deep breathings. And when you're done, even if it's 5 breaths, you'll feel so much clarity to your mind, so much peace in your heart, and you feel a lot lighter.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Well, thank you for taking a moment and talking with me.
We'll be talking to you again. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again.
Last episode of Hope, I asked you to consider where you were right then and where you want to be. This is an important step in beginning your health and wellness journey. Aligning action steps that link where you are right now to where you want to be are difficult, if not impossible, to create if you don't ask yourself those two questions. Honestly seeking answers from deep within. I suggest, if you haven't done so, that you start a wellness journal. A simple notebook like this one, and after some meditative self-analysis, write down your thoughts and work out your goals and daily action steps from those goals. Ask yourself what you would see if you popped into a time machine and could instantly go to where you want to be or to who you want to be. Write down what that looks like, or even draw it if you're artistic. Then ask, why do I want that? After this exercise, write down one goal and several action steps that could begin you moving forward. Start with small steps so you don't overwhelm yourself. Remember, the moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life, your happiness, your sadness, your strengths, your weaknesses, your state of being in any way, shape, or form, is the moment you claim the power to change anything in your life. You have that power. Believe it, feel it, and find fulfillment in your life by doing so.
Forgive, to clear the mind, to purify the heart, and to cleanse the soul.
When we attempt to cleanse our lives through a body, mind, and spirit approach, we have to commit to a process that carries us through from the very beginning of our day to the very end. This next segment will feature a song I wrote entitled Step by Step, I'm Finding Me, where I will touch on some of the steps we must take each day if we are going to continually move forward toward our hopes and desires, fulfilling our dreams and becoming our best selves. This process begins in the morning when we wake, setting our path for the day, letting go of yesterday and beginning anew. Meditating and breathing deeply is a wonderful way to begin our day. Revisit in your mind's eye where it is you want to be and stay focused on that intention and desire. Then, as the chorus says, continue looking up, looking within, and all around for direction and inspiration. You are never alone. There are those who love you and will be there for you, including your Creator. It will be up to you to stick to it and reach out to all the positive influence you can. And in doing so, you will show others how to do the same. When adversity comes, and we know it does, in so many forms, we shrug off the temptation to quit. We breathe deeply and feel the freedom that comes with letting go of negativity. We continue to receive inspiration by looking up, all around, and within for positivity. I believe music creates a medium at which we can all meet. And again, I am grateful for the musical talents of Cheryl Davidson, who accompanies me and sings with me in this video. In the morning, when I wake, I'll follow my path with every breath I take. Focus on where I want to be, remembering always the desire in me. I'm looking up as I look within. Follow my light and my connection to the divine, to all I can be. Step by step, I'm finding me. All through the day, I stay at the helm, direct myself forward, no overwhelm. Allow my mind and my spirit to dwell in a place together so all can tell. I'm looking up as I look within, finding my light and my connection to the divine, to all I can be. Step by step, I'm finding me. When there comes a time of adversity, I may want to quit, but I'll set myself free by looking up as I look within, finding my light and my connection to the divine, to all I can be. Step by step, I'm finding me. Ooh, I'm finding me. Ooh, I'm finding me. I'm finding me.
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 Me. Definitely me.
Make each day your masterpiece.
Truth is, I struggled a bit this month. Looking back, I realize I failed to create those all-important clear action steps. My goals were clear, but the action steps did not align or measure up. Thanks to Gina Primavera, I enjoyed delicious vegan meals 3 times per week throughout the last month, but unfortunately found myself basically lost the remaining 4. Because of my thyroid condition, I am cautioned against consuming beans, nightshade vegetables such as tomatoes and peppers, dairy, sugar of course, and all grains, leaving me quite limited in what I can create meals from. So, moving forward this month and in keeping with the theme of this episode, I've begun a cleansing process which I plan to stick to this month. This cleanse includes lemon water throughout the morning and day. Thank you, Chelsea. Then a fruit and vegetable smoothie. Thanks again, Chelsea. With organic salads and fruits, nuts and seeds for meals. Though I am thinking of implementing organic grass-fed chicken and fish back into my diet in the future, right now, in keeping with this cleanse, I will be meat and fish free. Unlike last month, I have very specific action steps. My fridge is stocked and my lemon oil is in hand. There's been a lot of commotion and upheaval in my life with moving to our basement suite. So many adjustments and time commitments, not unlike most, if not all, of you. To stay focused on our goals, we need to be very specific and organized and, of course, determined. I have a clear schedule set up of daily yoga, deep breathing, meditation, walking, clean eating, journaling, inspirational reading, affirmations, and serving others. My new action steps are more in alignment with my health and wellness journey. As a part of spiritual cleansing, I am journaling to help stay positive and focused. I am not dwelling on where I think I should be by now. I forgive. Now, this is a big word and so important in our daily lives, to forgive ourselves and others. But in this case, I'm speaking of forgiving myself for my occasional backsteps and my weaknesses. Hence, I am free to continue moving forward with a clear conscience, renewed determination, and positive focus. Remember to tune into my Facebook page, Hope, for updates, tips, links, and discussion if you desire. I hope to see you there. Blessings to each and every one of you.
When you feel like quitting, think about why you started.